Vlookup is an equation which will pull information from a outside spreadsheet into another sheet. It'll pull full range. So I use this a lot if I have a spreadsheet that I don't want people to mess with the data on that spreadsheet, but I still want them to see what information's on there. So you can pull information from another spreadsheet, or you can even pull it from the same spreadsheet. The process is the same. So let's say I had this data here that I wanted to pull into another spreadsheet. So I would have to look at the range I want to pull in, because I'm not going to be able to sort or anything really at first. I just want to pull in that data. So I'm going to go to my spreadsheet here. I'm going to start my equation. Again, start with an equal. Then it's import range. Put your parentheses. And now you see spreadsheet keys. So I'm going to go back to my data here. Spreadsheet keys up here in the equation, in the URL, and it starts after the D, and then it goes before the edit. So you just want the numbers there, none of those, none of the hashes. And so I'm just going to copy that. So I go back to my sheet here, and you can see that I need to put in my quotations, put in the part I just copied, and then comma. And now I need to pull in what sheet is it pulling for. So again, I'm going to do my quotation marks. And the title of my sheet is called main data. I put in a exclamation point. And then I got to tell it what range. And so I'm just going to go from A1 to, if we go back to my data. So sometimes if you're in the middle of an equation trying to edit like that, it may break. It kind of just couldn't handle me switching to the other side. But let's go look real quick. So I'm going to go from A1, which is this point here, and let's say I want my data out to M. Well, let's go down to M22. That's the bottom of my data. So let's go back here for a second. A1 to M22. Again, I'm going to check my little help information here. If you don't see this box, you'll probably see a question mark on the corners of where the cell you're editing. Just click on that question mark and the help box will pop up. So I think I should be good now. I'm going to hit enter. Now you're going to see it says reference. You need to connect the sheets. You just have to do this the first time you're pulling the information from a spreadsheet. So I click allow access. Now there's a way to do import range of multiple spreadsheets at once. You have to allow access each time individually. Oops, sorry. Apparently I already had information. I was trying to save that information there. All right, we'll pull that out. So you can see it pulled in information. It just couldn't overwrite the fact that I had data in there, so it can't overwrite that. So make sure you're pulling into blank cells. So you see that it pulled in all this information. Now here's the problem. I can't just delete that. So if I wanted to delete something out of here, I can't, because it's just pulling in. Also, anything I do to this data will not affect the original data it's pulling from. So it's only going to be kind of just almost like looking through a window at data. So import range is very useful then to pull that information into another spreadsheet or just into another area. So again, it'd be an outside spreadsheet typically when you're going to use this. And I've used this a lot with working with a couple special ed teachers about they want to share their data with the EAs, but don't want the EAs to be able to change it, or even with, administrator wants to see the data, but they don't need to be able to see the original data. Something along those lines where you're just sharing information. But the nice thing is if I pull the information to a new spreadsheet, I can then use other things like VLOOKUP, query, filter, sort on other tabs inside that spreadsheet once I have access to that. So just think about import range as pulling information from an outside file into a new file so you can work with it inside that new file.